Good morning and welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are having a great day. Now, I have a very serious question to ask. Do you too have a stack of bottoms, whether it be pants or skirts, and you love them, you don't want to get rid of them, but they don't fit you? They fit in some parts, but the waist definitely doesn't fit. Well, today I'm going to show you how to take in the waist of your jeans, and I have a fat stack of clothes that I need to take in because they don't fit me. And I got sent some jeans by Yesstyle and they are so cute, but unfortunately, I think I ordered the wrong size because I recently lost a bunch of weight. That is the reality of being a human. Your weight fluctuates, okay? And that is fine. I'm gonna show you just how easy it is to take in the waist of your jeans. You don't need to be a professional seamstress or tailor to know how to do this. I find that so many clothes these days are kind of mass produced and end up with like a really large waist to hip ratio, and it's always off, like it never fits right. And it's extremely frustrating. It's a really easy fix though. This is also a really cool way to take jeans or any bottoms that you really find in like a thrift store that are really baggy and be able to take them in to get that like 90s classic like new jeans kind of style look. So without further ado, let me show you what you'll need to get into it. So you will need a sewing machine. A domestic one works just fine. Do you recommend getting some leather or jeans needles for this project? An unpicker and a pair of sharp scissors, some fabric chalk, and lastly some pins. You might want to get some denim thread to match your pants as well. So to start, you're going to want to try on your bottoms, and then grabbing your chalk, you're going to grab and cinch in as much of the fabric that is giving up like there's extra, and then mark that with your chalk. The purpose of this is to figure out exactly how many centimeters we're going to need to take in your bottoms. It's very, very easy. It can be a bit messy, especially with the skirts. If it's easy, you can pull it around to your front and then cinch it in just like I did here. And once you know exactly how many centimeters, we can measure it, and this will be how big our darts will be. As you can see, these jeans though, you don't want to take them in too much, but as you'll notice, when you're sitting down at a cafe sometimes and your jeans like, oh my god, stick out, this is a really easy way as well to just come off looking more put together. As soon as your clothes fit you better, your whole outfit is going to look so much better. Trust me, it is worth learning how to do this. So laying out your bottoms down clearly in some good light, I marked down exactly how many centimeters my darts are going to be. But this one I had around 6 or 7 centimeters, so each dart was going to be half of that. You need to unpick your waistband, which might seem terrifying, but trust me, we can put it back together just where it was. Once you've unpicked the waistband, we're now going to mark out where the darts are going to be. So find your halfway point in your jeans and mark a little line with chalk, and this is going to be the middle of your dart. So like you remember, I said I need to take 6 centimeters off, which means 2 darts are going to be half that. So they're going to be 3.5-ish centimeters each of those darts. So measuring out, that is the width of my dart, if that makes sense. So as you can see, you're going to bring those 2 points together, and that is going to be what makes the jeans fit you and are tighter. Now we're going to cut into the waistband, and you're going to want to cut exactly where the belt loops are. So if your belt loops are actually like off to the sides, then you can actually make 2 cuts, but if yours is in the middle like mine, it's really easy. Flip your thing inside out so that we can easily pin in the darts. This is so much easier to do when the jeans are inside out. Now you can either use pins or chalk if you prefer. It's really up to personal preference, whatever you want to do to make sure that you can get the most accurate kind of measurement. So here's me checking them on the inside. This is kind of what it's going to look like, and I'm going to repeat the same on this other skirt as well, because trust me, once you figure out how easy it is to do this, you're going to want to do it to every single one of your bottoms to tailor it to fit you even better. Now let's jump over to the sewing machine because it's time to actually start stitching. So I've changed over my thread. You can actually just use a white thread for this bit as you're sewing in the darts first thing. So my machine is set to a stitch length of 2.5, which is basically one of the smallest stitches you can get. It's nice and tight, which means that these stitches will hold in place. If you've never sewn a dart before, what you're doing is sewing a diagonal line across the edge of the fabric. You don't have to cut this in. This is a very common sewing thing, and the purpose of these darts is usually to make the garment hug your body and fit it much better. So now it's time to fix up our waistband. So what I'm doing here is trimming off the excess fabric, because now that we've taken it in, the waistband is now actually too big. So what we're going to do is trim a little bit and leave just enough seam allowance for it to be able to sew back together. So as you can see, I flipped it right sides together. So sandwich the right sides together and pin it, and as you can see, it'll come together and look like it did before. So let's go back to the sewing machine and stitch these, and making sure not to sew the wrong parts of the waistband. It's pretty simple, but just make sure you're doing it nice and neat when you're doing it. Once that's done, I like to tidy up by snipping up any loose threads. It's pretty nice tidying up, and then we're going to start pinning our waistband back onto where it was on the jeans. You'll want to make sure that the seam allowance that you just sewed on the waistband is nice and flat to avoid any extra bulk, because honestly it does get kind of bulky, this part of the pants, but to avoid that, I just like to put a few pins in. And as you can see, because the fabric's going back exactly where it was before, it actually folds in really easily. So this might look like a lot of pins, but actually it's really not that much, and it's very easy. Just 2 straight stitches. Come on guys, you're nearly there. We got this. And this part especially, you're gonna want to use a denim thread, which is this boy. It's a bit thicker than your usual thread, and it lasts, I think it's more durable, and you want to use a denim needle to go with it, because honestly normal needles are going to have a hard time sewing with this thickness of thread. Then go ahead and just top stitch over that stitch. I'm pretty sure this is the technical term of top stitching, and if you want you can try and match the actual pinpoints of where the needle was. So my stitch length is around 4, I think for this one, maybe 4.5, but feel free to experiment if you want it to match so that it has a really seamless and cohesive look. This is just a tip, but when you're going through the really thick parts of the waistband, don't actually use your foot pedal. Instead, use your hand crank on the right side of the machine and slowly punch your needle through it. Trust me, it's going to be a lot easier, especially when we're sewing the belt loop back on. So this guy, as you can see, just at the top needs a little stitch. Obviously, it's sewing through like 6 layers of fabric. Once you attach that, that is done. That is literally it. That is all the steps you need to finish altering your jeans. And look how well they fit me at the back. Like, they are hugging my waist. So good. Amazing. Easy. How easy was that, guys?
Unavailable. Blue skies do not disturb. I'm getting my heart out of my heart. Return to sender on my messages. I don't wanna go home. Put me up in the sky.
Wishing you all the best, guys, and happy sewing!